Hi there. If you're a new viewer, welcome to my channel. And if you're returning, welcome back. Amir here with another HackerRank data structures and algorithms video. This one is an easier one, but if you want to really understand this a bit deeper, I highly encourage you to watch one, the linked list video I created, and two, the one I created before, which is about inserting a node into the tail. This one is about inserting a node into the head. The link for both videos is in the description. Let me know if you have any questions, and if you haven't already subscribed, I would really appreciate if you do it. The other point I wanted to chat to you about is if I find enough interest on my YouTube channel, I will create a course for data structures. So if you're interested, let me know so that I can understand how many people are really into it. So let's get into this one. If you have been visiting my channel, you will know that I always have a Jupyter notebook in black that helps me explain the problem to you. And I have the original HackerRank problem in white. This one is an easier one. Let me first show you the inputs. We will be receiving a number from the user that tells us how many different inputs does the user want to put to the head of the linked list. So in this case, the user will give us 5 inputs, and these are the 5 inputs. And our job is literally to attach them to the head of this linked list one at a time. Let me first read through the task here. Given a pointer to the head of a linked list, as I said, I have a really good video on linked lists. The link will be up the top right. Insert a new node before the head. So if this is the head, for example, I'm just going to call it head, we need to insert before the head. Now, the next value in the new node should point to the head, and the data value should be replaced with a given value. So every time there is a head, we will be adding to the head, we will be adding to the head, and we will be adding to the head over time. What we will be returning is a reference to the head of the list. So our last statement should be return head. So keep that in mind. I'll show you now. The head pointer given may be null, meaning that initial list is empty. So this is also very important. Now, let's see what we have and how do we tackle this one. I will quickly show you what we have on HackerRank. Let me just zoom out a bit. I understand that that might get a bit small, but this just helps me explain what's going on. This is the function that we have to complete. Let me copy this function and put it in here. I will call this is the function we need to write. All right, paste that here. And I will put the word pass. That word allows me to run the cell without really worrying about that. I don't have any data to run. And I will fix this later. The next thing I want to do is bring in any steps in the code that is necessary, and we'll use the function that I will write. So the function that I will write is called insert node at head, and I will be using it in here, right? So let me copy these lines, and if you want to do it with me, go ahead. But I think you would appreciate, let me just unindent these, that's good. But you would appreciate that if you're going to define the function, after you have used it, it's going to run into an error. So I will have to move this above that because I will need to first create the function and then use it, of course. One thing that I really want to mention is this arrow here. Let me show it to you. This arrow here has got a lot of code in it. If you click on this arrow, you will see that there is so much code that has been written here. What we really need to understand are these two classes. These classes really define how we tackle this problem. Let me go ahead and copy this code as well. So I will copy from here, and I will bring them also here. And you know what? I'll quickly explain it. I'm not going to be lazy because I want to help people out there. I really want to do it, and that makes me happy. I will start with this first class, right? This first class is kind of a very important one. The reason being, this one is used to create single list nodes. If you don't know what a list node is, go watch my other videos in data structures. They are very helpful. But in short, a list node holds data and a pointer. We usually use the word next for the pointer, and that we use that arrow. This means that, for example, the user, instead of giving me number 56 by itself, will give me a node that holds 56 and holds the pointer to the next bit. For example, next bit can be 78, 1500, such and such. So instead of just having the integer by itself, we will have some information about what's next. This is more like a map. Maybe like a treasure hunt map. You're like, oh, I found some gold here, but also this point tells me where's the next one and how much there is. This is actually really cool because a lot of the software that we use today use the same idea. Just to repeat, instead of having a 56 by itself, we're not going to have 56. We're going to have 56, and we will have the pointer to the next value, which could be 78, which also can point to 105, and that can point to nothing, which is the end of the linked list. So this is important for you to understand. This function does not care about what's next. All it does, create a node with the data in it. You might ask, hey, Amir, how do you know? Well, I am looking at here. I'm seeing that this class will take the data, which can be 56, 78, 1, 2, any number. I don't really care. It does have that, but it doesn't have any pointers. So that's why I am saying, hey, the pointer here goes to null. This is a standalone node. That's easy. So that's one this one does. Now the question is, what does this one do? Well, this one, just look at the attributes. It says the head will be none, the tail will be none. So essentially we will have a linked list, right, that has got null here and that has got null in the head. In other words, this is an empty linked list, but you can fit data later down the track. I'm not going to really go through that right now. Now that I have talked about these functions, I'm just going to make this cell by pressing this blue area, and I will just make it small because I don't want to really see it. HackerRank doesn't want me to see it, so I will do the same here. And what I will be doing right now is to feed information to this function to be used here. And for me to be able to complete that function, I need to understand what the requirement is. Before I do that, let me see what I will be getting into the function that I have to develop. I have to write this function, I understand that. But what I will be getting list and data. Where does list come from? When I look at here, I see that the user will give me a number. If I scroll down on HackerRank, you will see that the user will give me a number, which will go in here. So this one will be 5 as an example. And then these will be feeding into this for loop. But then what exactly is this here? Because we didn't really talk about this. Well, this is going to use one of those functions that I just drew from you, which was here. It will create an empty linked list that goes to null and null here. So this one will be that. Okay, I will take 5. I will create an empty linked list, and then I will keep populating 383, 484, and I'm reading these guys. 392 and such. But when does 383 come in? Can you tell me what happens on it? Yeah, I can. So 383 goes in here, from here. So list item becomes 383. Then this 383, which is called list item now, and the list head that we actually have got from here, which is null in the very first point, we'll get the insert node at head function, which we will write. We haven't written it yet. And we'll make it a new variable called list head, and that list head will be fed into the list.head, and list is this empty list. So first round, this 383 will come in here, then 484 will come before it, then 392 will come before it, and such and such. Now, this makes it pretty easy for me now because I understand that when I get the list, which is an empty linked list, and when I get the data, I need to make sure this gets attached to the head, to the head, to the head, all the way 5 times. Now, for me to be able to do that, I need to create a new node, and this new node will come from this function, singly linked list node. So let me copy that from here. I'll paste it here and close. All right. What I need to feed into it is my data because I want to make sure, for example, this 383 goes into here. So 383 goes from a simple integer into a node that points at null. That's what I want to create. Once I do that, now I want to attach it to the head. So I want to say, hey, I want 383 to be the head and point to null. Right? Well, you have done it already in here. Now what you want to do then, all right, now that I have created a node from 383, now I want to make this the head because the head used to be the null value, but for now I need to move the head. So I will say, so what I need to do now is to take new node.next and put head into it. This means that the head that I have in my data will be the pointer of new node. Once I have done that, all I need to do is to return new node. So I will copy this and I will bring it over in here, right? And I will paste it, just make sure all the indentation is correct. What I missed here is that I don't have the head, I have the list. And here I will make this the list. Okay, I'll make this Python 3, it already is Python 3. So let's run this and see what happens. I'll move my face over. Okay, if I run this code and keep my fingers crossed, the sample test case runs successfully if I submit the code. All test cases were successful. And I've got a congrats, you have earned your second star. That is so good. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. And as I said, if there is enough interest in the market, I will create a full course on data structures. So let me know and see you soon.